Hi, I am here again with my lovely husband, Mike, and I wanted to have him on because he is going to be providing an online neuro meditation class starting May 1st, so just coming up in a few weeks here.
Mhm.
And part of the reason we're doing this class is because we got so many requests to do an online version of our nervous system regulation program, Soothe Wellness, which was really originally designed to be really like an immersive sensory experience and be done in person.
Mhm.
And we're still doing that. We're still traveling around giving the in-person workshops. So definitely get on that mailing list if you haven't already, so you know where we're going to be and when, so you can hop in person if we come near you. But we also wanted to try to make some of our content accessible to do online because a lot of the nervous system regulation stuff um, is something that you can do easily at home.
Mhm.
And meditation and meditative techniques are a huge part of nervous system regulation. Um, and Mike is our resident meditation expert. He's got his certification in neuro meditation specifically. And so I wanted to have him on to talk a little bit more about that since it's maybe a term that a lot of people haven't heard of,
Mhm.
and so yeah, explaining a little more about it, and maybe just starting with your experience starting meditation and how you found the neuro meditation style to be helpful.
Yeah. Well, my experience with meditation came because I was looking for, well, like a lot of people do, I was just looking for a way to reduce my stress and kind of like buffer my emotional responses and things like that a little bit. And so I practiced that, and I struggled a lot with meditation for probably a few years, I think, before I actually found neuro meditation. And I found it because I was looking for non-medication ways to deal with my adult ADHD.
Can I just interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
When you were trying to do meditation on your own, when you're just like, oh, this is supposed to reduce stress, I'll try this, what did you find that was difficult about it?
Um, well, I just feel like I didn't have a whole lot of. I mean, I it was hard to focus, and I wasn't trying to go for like a quiet mind sort of style. I was really just trying to focus on my breath, which is a focus meditation. And sometimes I was using more like visualization techniques and stuff like that. So it was just hard to keep my focus and to.
With ADHD, it was hard to keep your
Yeah,
focus?
super
What?
true. Yeah, go figure, huh? And the visualization helped a lot, but there were times that I just didn't feel like going through the entire ritual of visualization. The entire process that I was using was kind of long, and sometimes it just felt like a little bit too much, and I just wanted something a little bit shorter. And so I wasn't trying to do quiet mind because I didn't even think it was possible at that point for me to have a quiet mind.
Yeah.
um, so what brought me to the neuro meditation then was looking for solutions for the ADHD, and I came across the book that was written by the guy who founded Neuro Meditation, the Neuro Meditation Institute, Dr. Jeff Tarrant, is my mentor, and it's called Meditation Interventions to Rewire the Brain, and it's meditation specifically for ADHD, PTSD, depression, and anxiety. And I saw that book and I went, oh wow, I have all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
That's
that's the
me.
whole enchilada. That's me. So I picked up the book and I read through the book, and there was just like so many amazing tools in the book that I decided to get certified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. And so, did you have a new experience with meditation when you started using those techniques? Like, how did your experience with meditation change?
Wow, yeah, I leveled up in a huge way. I feel like my meditations are just my focus meditation. First of all, totally leveled up. I got much better at focus, and I realized that a lot of times when I was trying to do focus meditations, even when I like picked a focus like my breathing, I was still bouncing around inside of that focus a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I would focus on the cold spot in my nose as I breathed in air, and then I would focus on expanding my belly, and then I would focus on this, and I'd focus on that, and there was like all kinds of different things in your breath, that I was kind of bouncing my focus from point to point, even
Mhm.
inside of that structure. And so I really learned that in order to make it a true focus meditation, I had to pick one of those points and really, really just focus on that and sort of like release the rest. You know, anytime I got a random thought or a judgment or anything like that, I had to just kind of like let go of it, catch and
Yeah.
release, like when you're fishing.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was a huge improvement for my focus meditation. And then I also learned with a number of different techniques. I went through a 6 week program with Neuro Meditation that was all on quiet mind, or like a transcendental style of meditation, where you are trying to empty out your head of thoughts and slow down your thought process so that it's not quite so intrusive. And honestly, I just thought with the ADHD that wasn't even possible for me. I'd never experienced that before, ever in my life. And the only time that I have ever gotten to that point, I think I was more dissociating than I was actually getting into a quiet mind state.
Yeah.
And so I learned the difference between those two things, which was a shock. And then I also felt like I was able to really get into that quieter mind where my thought process just slowed down and things didn't come to me in the flurry of intrusive thoughts that I used to get.
Yeah.
And so that was super valuable. And then I also learned the other two styles of meditation that the Neuro Meditation Institute teaches primarily as the primary tools. And one of those was mindfulness meditation, which is kind of the two styles that everybody confuses when they think about meditation. They'll either think about mindfulness or they'll think about quiet mind. And so I learned about mindfulness and how mindfulness is really just kind of experiencing and observing all of your senses at once, and kind of like I can feel the heat of the sun on my skin. I can feel the air coming in and out of my body. I can hear a train in the background right now. Like I can hear and experience all of these things, but I'm not attached to any of them. Like
Mhm.
I don't have any sort of judgment. I just experience them and then I release. It's just like
Yeah.
catch and release, like the other thing.
Yeah.
I experience them and I let go without any sort of judgment or holding on to a specific
Mhm.
idea. And that was really, really valuable. It changed how I experience a lot of things in my life, honestly.
Mhm.
I was really able to be quiet a lot more often. I mean, before that, I really liked a little bit more noise in the background when I was cleaning and doing other things. And
Mhm.
I got to a point where I really was able to experience the mindfulness and appreciate silence in a way
Yeah.
that I never had been able to before.
Probably because you had better integration of your sensory experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really, really good for people with PTSD, because one of the things that PTSD does to your brain is that it disorients you, I guess, a little bit,
Mhm.
and it really takes away your body's ability to integrate all of your sensory
Yeah.
experience. And so that's really, really powerful and profound for that. And then the last one, which is one that I still work on a lot, honestly, this is one that I've really struggled with most of my life too, and didn't even realize it, was the compassion meditation.
Mm.
Feeling compassion for all people and all things, and feeling self-compassion,
Yeah.
and like taking it easy on myself and giving myself grace and space to make mistakes and things like that. I really, because of my background and my personal experiences with trauma and PTSD, I really, and my ADHD too, I'd really kind of been criticized a lot throughout my life, and so I took a lot of that stuff to heart.
Yeah.
And the compassion meditation really, really helped me to realize that, you know, everybody deserves love and care and affection, including me. And
Mhm.
it gave me the ability to really like start to notice when I wasn't being compassionate for myself,
Yeah.
and to do that. And then it also helped a lot with it helps a lot with depression, and it's hard to be compassionate for other people when you feel like shit, but
Yeah.
it's also the key to feeling like shit less.
Yeah, and it has been really remarkable because, we've been together the whole time you've been going through this process, and I think I really witnessed you going from, like, yeah, I have a meditation practice and it helps,
Hmm.
to um, really experiencing meditation as like a transformative self-improvement
Yeah.
process because you had this very coherent and structured set of tools that
Yeah.
you just didn't have before. You were like, yeah, there's this thing, meditation. I think I kind of generally understand how it's supposed to go, and it helps me feel a little better, I guess.
Hmm.
And I also really appreciate neuro meditation because I think it really takes neurotype into account.
It
And
really does.
I think any one size fits all approach is really problematic. Like, it really bothers me when people just put out this idea of like, oh, just meditate and like all your problems will go away,
Hmm.
right? Or like, oh yeah, meditation is just like the cure to any mental health issue, right? As if it's that simple. It's not. And
Hmm.
a lot of people, I think, get really discouraged and frustrated and down on themselves. I remember I used to because, probably anxiety of those four diagnoses is the one that I have the most intense personal experience with. And yeah, I would like, it was like a joke to think about doing a quiet mind meditation. Like, are you
Hmm.
kidding? Not only could I not do it, it actually made me feel significantly worse,
Hmm.
right?
Totally.
And so knowing how to kind of start out for your specific neurotype in a clear, structured way, I find so valuable because you're still going to get these incredible benefits from meditation that have been clinically shown over and over and over
Hmm.
again. But you just have to know like the right way to kind of get into it, as opposed to jumping to a skill that is just like so inaccessible for the way that maybe your brain has been wired.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. And the cool thing about neuromeditation is Dr. Tron actually has like 20 years of data where he's
Yeah.
hooked people up to EEGs and watched their brain
Yeah.
waves, both during meditation and like with baseline before any sort of meditation practice. He does neurofeedback and all kinds of other
Mhm.
things, so they can actually see how this affects our brains,
Mhm.
and it changes physical structures. And so yeah, like you said, having that tool set in place where there's like a structure where you can go from no meditation at all to like the specific meditation that's going to help you the most is
Mhm.
is powerful. It was really powerful. And before it's like I was like sort of guessing, and
Yeah.
like I had some spiritual experience and some other things where I read a lot about meditation, but I never really had anyone who broke it down in the way that it's structured in the book, and the way that the Neuro Meditation Institute teaches it, where it just became so accessible. It was like, oh, I just need to learn how to do the next thing, and then I can move
Yeah.
on. And yeah, it was really, really powerful. And it did go from being like, oh, there's this thing that I do, when I wake up in the morning where I sit up in bed and I try to be quiet, or whatever, like I like try to bring my nervous system down a notch a little bit before I get started. And then it was like, I just, yeah, like I said, I just leveled up so
Yeah.
much. Like I can get myself into meditative states now in a much quicker way, and I can know what meditative state I want to bring myself into based on whatever stimulus is in my environment or whatever
Yeah.
I'm feeling. So
Yeah.
it's profound and really powerful, and I really appreciate my experience with them a lot.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm so excited for you to teach this course. I just think you're going to do it in such a approachable, accessible way. It's not like you're going to have
Hmm.
someone, who is in like severe depression and be like, oh, just do these affirmations, right?
Hmm.
Which is just like, even though that would probably help, but it's such a leap to get there. And you're going to show them to steps that are
Yeah.
actually going to get them there in an accessible way. So, yeah, do you want to give the details about the class?
Oh yeah, class starts May 1st, and it's going to be every Sunday in May. Basically, it's a 5-week course, and I believe I'm starting it at noon Pacific time, and it's going to go until 1:30.
Hmm.
And details are available on our website, experiencesoothe.com/workshops, and there's the 5-week neuro meditation course right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it too. I'm really stoked because as I was going through my neuro meditation training, it was just like my mind was just blown like week after week, and honestly, like every time that I sit in a mentorship meeting, like every month, like we just talk about such amazing, like mind blowing things that I feel like I just grow in leaps and bounds
Yeah.
every time.
It's a really good community. Yeah. So I'm excited to invite my followers into it as well. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or leave a comment. I'd be happy to answer any questions or concerns you might have. But yeah, get your spot reserved. Hopefully we're gonna see it fill up. So
Yeah, I'm really excited.
okay. thanks for taking the time to come on my channel.
Thank you for interviewing me. It was a pleasure to talk to you about it.